Today is September 1st, 2020. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good rotation of the earth. Welcome to the World Crown. I wish to offer every one of you my most sincerest welcome. To those of you just joining us for the very first time, I'm delighted to have you. I offer you and everyone my prayers and assurances that the justice of God will see to it that every single conspiracy being waged against you and all good people comes to an end. The World Crown is a new central government, endowed by its creator and blessed by the power of God's Holy Spirit, who makes manifest the destiny of all nations and peoples. The agenda today is health, government, life, communications, and the beginning of school. I continue to pray for everyone who is psychologically or physically sick for whatever reason. I pray for everyone who are inconvenienced by terrorist rules and news daily. Terrorism is a terrible thing. In government, I ask for a blessing from God's Holy Spirit on the basic mechanics of government to make sure people continue to receive benefits and help from government services, and to strengthen government workers and give them wisdom as government changes a little bit more each day, speaking in general terms for every country in the world. In matters of life, I ask for a blessing so that people benefit more in their lives from their normal affairs, banking and businesses, and are frustrated less by rules, ordinances, and practices generated by terrorism. I pray that workers in business also be strengthened and give them great wisdom so they can apply that wisdom in day-to-day affairs. With regards to communications, the World Crown has been writing responsibly and effectively, and our outgoing communications are perfect. Our incoming communications still leave something to be desired. People and organizations who want to make contact cannot. I ask God's Holy Spirit to continue to help us clear a road for better communication in the future. For better communications to exist, I also pray to the Holy Spirit asking for a blessing on the judgment of God against the COVID-19 political conspiracy, and I accept responsibility for today's judgment against the conspiracy, hoping that people do not continue in the absence of those who will be brought to justice. Lastly, I pray for a good start of the school year for all systems that start school in September 2020. I pray that students, teachers, administrators increase in wisdom and knowledge and be strengthened by their learning more every day. As the judgment of God proceeds, natural matters of life and death continue. I pray for a good reincarnation blessing on the dearly departed, knowing that each soul will start life over once again. In Catholicism, praying for people to be born again is the prayer of the resurrection of souls. It hasn't been understood as that, but that's what it's interpreted and what it's supposed to mean. Our eternity is lived between heaven and earth, and what happens between life, death, and rebirth is between the soul and God's Holy Spirit. The World Crown is your new central government by grace and with the blessing and power of God's Holy Spirit. It is blessed to help and bring justice to all the nations. The judgment of God is a slow, prayerful process, and we should be thankful that it is a slow process. In addition, a slow, prayerful judgment of God is filled with intercessory prayer for men and women around the world, assuring that everyone is prayed for, and so no one can say that God's Holy Spirit or the World Crown does not care. I, like yourselves, always wish things would go faster, but I am learning again about the qualities of the forces of God's Holy Spirit which govern our universe, and I do not question our Creator as to why things do not go quicker. Wisdom and patience is truly a virtue of God's Holy Spirit. Calendar, September 2020. I welcome you again to the month of September 2020. Counting from the month of January, September is the 9th month of the year in the Julian and Gregorian calendars, and the 5th of 7 months to have a length of 31 days. Maybe one day in the future we will change its name. A very long time ago, September was the 7th month, named Septima in Latin. So what happened? Your guess is as good as mine, but there are many explanations, none of which inspire me to relate to you at this moment. Maybe some other time. This month, on September 13th, on the other calendar, is Grandparents' Day. Man and woman are like strong fruit-bearing trees, even in their old age. When our bodies grow tired, the light which lives inside us glows brighter and we become wiser. How good it is to age gracefully. Happy Grandparents' Day again. We just finished our Grandparents' Day on the 28th of August on the World Crown calendar. You can never have enough of them. In the Southern Hemisphere, September is the seasonal equivalent of March in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Northern Hemisphere, in the month of September, we continue preparation for the winter months. Survival living at latitudes and altitudes in the winter has always been a science. For many students, September is a time of school and educational renewal. That is, unless it gets changed. I wish to offer all students my best and hope they have an excellent fall in their studies. Despite the internet and political news, the future looks very bright for everyone. I do not want you to give up on your world. Mass media, political news, and general information remain in a state of emergency. And so we must work to take care of each other and protect each other from bad things until all terrorists are brought to justice and all terrorism stops. Make sure to pray to God's Holy Spirit for a good blessing on the judgment of God every day. Have a great month of September. My peace I give you. May the peace of God's Holy Spirit, which surpasses all understanding, be also with you. May the good people be blessed and saved every day. That's it. That's okay.